My name is Karla and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm gonna teach you how to sculpt a nose in Zbrush. I'm gonna try to cover as much ground as I can, as fast as I can, to get you right into sculpting. This tutorial is aimed for beginners. If you have some basic knowledge in Photoshop, that's awesome. You're gonna need it. But if not, it's okay. I'll upload some JPEGs with the references so you can use them while you sculpt, which is the whole point of this tutorial, to use your references. So first off, all you need to start sculpting anything is to know how it looks like, right? So you need photos, references, all you can get familiar with it. Take like 10 minutes and start just scribbling the shape of it. Once you understand it, you can jump back into finishing whatever you want, but you need to know how it looks first. So with that said, let's get some basic anatomy started. We got some basic anatomy here. We got the tip of the nose, the nostrils, the septum, the wings of the nose, and the bridge. You can see it right here in the profile view. The nostrils, the septum, the tip of the nose, the wings of the nose, and the bridge. You don't need to memorize this, back and forth. You just need to locate yourself in the anatomy of the nose. There are no differences between male noses and female noses. It's just a matter of size, I guess. Some females have narrower noses and some males have larger noses. If you're gonna make a character, you can use this advantage to differentiate the gender of your character, I guess. So right here we have a picture of 3 skulls. As you can see, white or Caucasian people usually have a narrower opening. Black people usually have a larger opening, usually, but there's an exception to everything. So, and Asian are like in between of these two. I got my references right here, which I will upload for you. My references are all female and white because this is the character I wanna sculpt. So I'm gonna make this type of nose, small nose, cute nose. So I'm gonna break a simple structure for you so you can memorize it. Want to remember this method I'm gonna teach you right now. So you start off by drawing a triangle. Then you draw a circle for the tip of the nose. Okay. And then 2 ovals right next to the tip, which will be your wings of the nose, your flaps. And under it, of course, the nostrils. So this is only to get the main shape of the nose. Once you got this, you can continue with the detailing of the nose. That's pretty much it. Another thing I would like to point out is that the tip of your nose usually goes down and connects to your cupid's bow, like so. So it doesn't stop there. It goes down. It depends on which angle you're looking at the nose. It depends on if you can see it or not. So in front view you can actually see it, but if we go to a three-quarter view, sorry, we can. You see you got the tip of your nose and it goes down and connects with your cupid's bow, like so. And the flaps go around your nostrils, like this. Cupid's bow here. Okay, so like this as well. You see, it's the same breakthrough using basic shapes. Doesn't matter if the nose is tilted or it's in a perspective. It goes the same. It's the same formula, I guess. Okay, so once we got this clear in our heads, we're gonna apply this same principle into Zbrush. So we open up our Zbrush. You go to, just as it is. Don't mind the colors in my Zbrush. This is just coloring. We're gonna have the same menus. So you open up your Zbrush document, and you're probably gonna have this little window open right here. It's called Lightbox. You're just gonna double click on this sphere right here that says Dynawax. Also, you should know that I'm using Zbrush 4R7. So you double click just your sphere, and you should have something like this. It's placed right in the middle of your document. You probably have a floor, you probably don't. Next step, you go to floor and just click this button right here, and the floor will disappear. And if you have this one on, you can turn it off also. This is just perspective. We're gonna use it after we have our main shape nailed down. With spacebar, you can access your brush. So we're gonna press spacebar and increase our draw size. You can see how the pen increases the size of the brush. Sorry. So once we got like a medium size, we go to brush right here and make sure that our clay buildup is selected. If it's not, you can go to C and then B. Once you got your brush, you're ready to start. Once we got our sphere set in our canvas and our clay buildup brush ready, we can start, we can just jump right into sculpting. So you press X to turn on symmetry. Make sure that whatever you paint is gonna duplicate that in the other half, so to make it symmetric. And with our references at the hand, we can begin our sculpting. So you press spacebar to adjust the size. That's all you need to know for now. And you can just start laying your triangle. You lay down your triangle. If you wish to smooth, you press Shift and you just click. I usually, when I'm painting, I'm sculpting, I press Shift and just click very smoothly, just dab the nose a little with it. Because otherwise you can just blur everything you've done, and we don't want to get rid of all those details. We just want to smooth the surface a little, so you won't have like a horrible bumpy nose. So it's the same process. You just paint or sculpt like this, like you would actually do in Photoshop, and you just smooth it out. If you want to get rid of some of this bumpiness or the buildup of the clay, you just hold Alt and you will get like the same brush, but instead of sculpting or adding more clay, you start like carving or getting rid of some of the excess clay that you could have. So I got my triangle, and sorry, I'm just gonna turn down a bit. Okay, so I got my triangle, and I'm just gonna make the main circle, remember? The main circle. And then we're gonna add the flaps of the nose, like so. If you wanna rotate your sphere, well, if you want to move, you can just press this button right here and move it. You can scale it with this one, or rotate it. There are some shortcuts in the keyboard for this, but for now let's just stick with the simple methods. So this part's quite bumpy, and as we remember, or you might remember right now, the tip of the nose connects to your cupid's bow. Your cupid's bow goes out. Like this. Okay. So it's looking like a big potato blob. But this is the main shape. Just remember, you must have the main shape. You must have the triangle with the tip of the nose, the round circle, and the flaps right beside it. Once you got this main shape, you can start working your way through it and get more detail with time. Just try to keep it simple for now. First step is always to have the main shape of the object, and once you have that shape correct, you can carry on with the sculpting. Detailing is for last. So once we got this, I want to add some nostrils because it's too shallow for now. So I press Alt and I carve my way in, and you see it's starting to get a little like crumbled here, like broken geometry. So I just press Shift and dab the pen, just soft clickings. Okay, so another brush we're gonna use right now is the Move brush. You go to your brush palette and go to M for Move and B, Move brush. With the Move brush, we're just gonna make sure that everything's in place and the main shape sticks to the final shape of the nose that we want. So I'm just gonna okay, now that I have my Move brush selected, I'm gonna just push my nostrils in. Make sure like the overall shape of the nose I want, it's portrayed in this so-called sketch. So I said I wanted a female nose, small nose, cute. By using my references, I just try to make this to look as much as possible as the pictures as I can. I smooth. Okay, looking better. And then I decide that this is too large, so I keep moving it, pinching it inward. This is too low. If you place the brush lightly on the sphere and move it inwards like this, you can create some lines without actually messing up the mesh that much. You can just tilt it a little bit, and there we go. Smooth this. So as you go by sculpting and tilting it, you can see that this shape, this weird shape starts to happen. So we just flatten it a little bit. I press shift and then I come back into it. Just making sure that the overall shape of the nose I want is there. And also that it's anatomically correct. So it looks kind of weird, doesn't it? Looks really weird. Such a big nose at the moment. So just shrinking it down. Making it look the way I want to. Don't try to focus in a whole 3D view, because this nose, it's gonna go to Photoshop afterwards. So it's gonna be a 2D image. We're not rendering this. It's just for painting purposes and to make our lives easier when we want to paint in Photoshop. So I think I've moved everything into order. Maybe not, I don't know. You can just go rotate your sphere only to like get into places, or I don't know, places that are hard to get with your brush. Okay. So we go back to our clay buildup brush, and remember that the septum goes into our cupid's bow. We go bigger and further. You just switch between smoothing and the brush. If you want to undo something, just like in Photoshop, you just Control C, or if you're on a Mac, of course, Command C. So I keep smoothing, and I keep smoothing and moving everything into place and adding some more geometry where it needs to be added. And shift and make it softer. I sort of try to pinch this right here. Okay, so I like the way it looks right now. I think it just needs some more detailing, but you can get the overall shape of the nose like this. The point of this is to get some piece done quickly, and that you can import it into Photoshop or pose it as you wish in Zbrush, and then import it into Photoshop and tweak it with whatever you need quickly. So I'm just gonna jump ahead and speed sculpt this. Now that we have that we're happy with our main shape, we go to this subtool that's called geometry, and we press the button divide. Right here, you can see that you have a slider. This holds your divisions, the resolution of your geometry or mesh. So we just divided it once, and we got now a smoother finish. You can go to BPR if you want, which is the preview render. We just wait until it loads. And you see that it looks better. It renders the lights and shadows with it. You can use this before you start painting or finishing your sculpt to help you notice where you need some work. Like for example, my nostrils are ending are not anywhere they're supposed to be, and my septum, I want my septum to be like more noticeable in front view. So I'm gonna jump ahead and correct those little details, and we're ready to paint. Okay, just some small details with the move brush. This should end here, and I'll make them disappear a little. You can always, this is actually something that I recommend when you divide a mesh. If you're trying to correct some general stuff, just slide this back to 1 and work at a smaller level of resolution. It would help you and your computer handle this 10 times better, I promise. So once that I tricked my nose the way I wanted, I slide back to my second subdivision and try to smooth a little bit of those details. Okay. So now we go to the painting part. And we are almost done, I promise you. Okay. I just like to add some flesh around this, so it looks like it's part of a face and not just a sphere with a nose. And remember what I said about anatomy, that everything is connected to other stuff, so this gives it like this purpose, I guess. Okay. So you're done with your nose and whatnot, and you wanna jump into painting. You go to your brushes and select this brush right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's called standard brush. Then we deselect this square right here that says see add, so we can no longer add geometry to our mesh, or we can no longer carve or sculpt, in simple plain words. So once you've done that, you're ready to paint. Let's try, for example, like this. You choose your colors right in the palette that's in here, and let's go to red and desaturate this a little. I want a pinky nose. I get this is actually too dark. You already have like this base color in your mesh with this material right here, so it's too white. I want it to be a little darker, so I select my color, and with this exactly as you see right now, as it is right now, with just RGB selected, you head to the colors palette and click on fill object, and voila, our mesh now is pink. Remember, you can access your menu, your brush menu, with the spacebar. And now that I have my basic color, I want to add some shadows, so I'm just gonna saturate it a little. And you know, this is just your color preferences or whatever it is. I mean, if you got it this far, I want to just congratulate you because you made it, and I'm so glad that I helped you in a way. So I'm just gonna lower the subdivision because it's starting to bother me. And I just paint the nostrils. Just gonna paint them a bit dark, give it some shadow, just some small touches. Not gonna over paint it. I want somewhere. If you want to select the color that's on your mesh, I mean the color you just already painted like an eye drop, you just click this the color square and drag it to your material or your color, the color that you want to pick, and it automatically selects it for you right here. So sorry. Go to spacebar. If you wanna make it like less saturated or just tweak the transparency, you can go to RGB intensity right here and slide it down. This will give you like a softer brush to work with. So I'm just painting the parts that where the light doesn't reach. We have a zenithal light right here. So I'm just painting some shadows. I want more pink, like so. Make it look like it's alive. It's a human nose. Okay, and it's starting to come along, right? So I want to teach you a little trick I do. You go to your strokes and select the drag rectangle. Then you choose an alpha. An alpha is like a texture that you apply when you sculpt or paint. And I'm gonna go with okay, that looks gross. This one's the little speckles. And I'm gonna choose like a light brown. Okay. And then I'm gonna click and drag. And you get these little freckles that look kind of cool. And if you want to just smudge the paint, you press shift, just like when you did one sculpting, and it will blend the colors that you're painting with. So I increase my RGB intensity because I want more freckles. Yes, like this. I love these freckles. They look great. Or not. I mean, if you don't like freckles, you just don't have to add them. I just think it gives them more texture to the nose. Okay, so I go back to my alpha, turn it off. Go to my stroke and back to freehand. Same standard. I choose my skin color and lower the intensity and just try to smudge these freckles too, just by painting more over them. Still thinking it's more coloring done. And finally some highlight perhaps. Too much. I just command C or undo. Okay, I hit PPR. And once you're glad with your outcome, you hit BPR, and then you go to document and export it. You can export the image or export the screen grab, which is basically like just a print screen. So let's go with export image. It will automatically export it as a PSD file, as you can see. So we call it nose. Let's place it in the desktop as PSD file. And see you in. So now we're back to Photoshop. I imported my screen grab, and I just wanna crop it. I just crop my nose. And there it is. So add more definition, I guess. Yeah, this depends on your style now. Like, if you wanna paint it like super realistic or not, just wanna make some concept arts real quick. Maybe you have some assignment or a deadline, I don't know. So this part is actually too dark. It's somewhere. Yeah, like this. Maybe this. Then afterwards we can just blend and whatnot. Blend the imperfections. And this is it, guys. This covers up the tutorial. If you wanna tweak it somehow, like I mean further, you can just go to adjustments and tweak with the levels. You can make it darker or brighter. I like it this way, so I'm just gonna leave it like this. Probably just change some hues. Oh, this is just like a zombie nose. You can make a zombie nose if you want. Okay, so there we have it. There's our nose. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you've learned a lot. This is my first tutorial, so I'm hoping to get a lot of feedback from you friends, and you know, if you have any questions you can ask me, go ahead on my Facebook, DeviantArt, or YouTube channel. And it's just a simple tutorial that I believe anyone can follow, and you don't actually have to know a lot of about Zbrush. You just follow the instructions and it will get you done. The most important thing is that you practice a lot. Before I sculpted these noses, I try to paint them first in Photoshop and just get the concept right, the anatomy right, just the basic shape. Start with the basic shape, and if it looks like what you want, then you move to the next level and add more details and correct and whatnot. But most of all, just be patient, and you know, if you have any questions, just let me know. I hope you like this, and I hope you are making great noses right now. So bye guys, see you.